Hello folks, this is Sullla once again. Welcome to another video for League of Legends. This is going to be match number 2 in a sort of a impromptu 3-game set between Team Solo Mid and Team LMQ TC. LMQ is a Chinese team that has actually come to North America and is going to be trying to qualify for the North American LCS. They were not around in time to qualify for the spring split, but they have said that they're going to try to qualify for the summer. If you watched Game 1 in this series, it was up on my channel yesterday, so feel free to go and check that out if you want. This is not, of course, an official set between the two. This is not from a tournament or anything like that. This was simply, as I said, an impromptu series that sprang up. These teams actually just got matched up against one another in team ranked 5s, and then they actually ended up playing 3 games. This is the second of the 3 in this sequence. And for some reason, these replays never start at the beginning of the match. I don't quite understand why that is, off of this replay service where I get them. But I'm just glad that I am able to get these at all off of Pro Replays is the website. But in any case, so this is game number 2. Game number 1 was very entertaining, very, very close up until the end of the match. And I won't spoil the outcome if you haven't seen it yet, if you want to go back and watch that. But it was very good, very entertaining, and a very high level of play coming out from both teams, especially from LMQ, which is a team that I'm, obviously not familiar with. I believe they're a new team. I believe that this is not an actual established Chinese team, but is a new team that was formed and is trying to qualify for the North American LCS. Anyway, we'll get things set up on the bottom. We'll look at the laning matchups in a minute, and it doesn't look like there's anything all that crazy going on here at level 1 in this one. Looks like everybody's just playing very defensively. This is what teams do if they're not trying to invade. People spread out, like notice where Solo Mid has their players. People just spread out and watch all the entrances, and this is sort of the very defensive way to do a level 1 strategy. And so it doesn't really look like much of anything's happening. Looks like junglers are going to start at blue buff for Solo Mid and at red buff for LMQ. Okay, so what do we have here in terms of matchups? Well, in this top lane, we have Ackerman for LMQ, who's going to be playing as Shyvana, up against Dyrus, who's going to be playing as Rengar, up here in the top lane. If you've been watching Battle of the Atlantic or the North American and European promotional series for the LCS, you have not seen Rengar. That's not because Rengar is a bad champ. He's actually very strong right now. The reason why you haven't seen him is he was globally disabled due to bugs for both events. So that's why you wouldn't have seen him. Actually, no. Now we actually have an early blue invade coming in from Solo Mid. So they actually did something very similar in the first game, and Solo Mid's actually going to be swapping their lane. So this is actually the same thing we saw in the first match. Solo Mid was on red side, LMQ was on blue side, and they did the exact same thing. Solo Mid sent their duo lane up to the top, and then did a 1v2 or 2v1 setup, and they also went and invaded the blue at the start of that game as well. So Odd One getting a little bit ahead right now because the jungler for LMQ, No Name, walked up to the blue buff and found that it was already stolen. Alrighty, so we're not going to have a top lane matchup yet. Actually, Dyrus went and farmed the double golems because he figured he was going to be getting denied down here in the bottom lane. Anyway, in mid lane is the one lane where we do have a straight up laning matchup. We have Bjergsen for Team Solo Mid playing as Zed against Wei Zhao playing as Gragas for LMQ. And I don't know what LMQ stands for, if it stands for something, unfortunately. Maybe someone will point that out in the comments, someone who's more familiar with this team. Anyway, down here, yeah, we do see both junglers do get a red. Actually, no, didn't get that blue buff. Who took that blue? Where did the blue buff go for the other side of the map? Oh, okay, it went over to Moore. The support Annie actually ended up getting that blue. Very interesting. But anyway, so right down here we see the 3-man dive coming in. Both teams sending their duo lane and their jungler to the tower. Unlike in game 1, Ackerman, the top laner for LMQ, does not get caught, just gives up the tower. And so both teams are going to 3-man push the tower while their top laners, or other solo laner, just backs off. So both Rengar and Shyvana staying away from the towers, just letting them die, because if they try to hold these towers, they're just going to get dived and killed. So we're going to see early towers going down for both teams, and let's see what the teams go on and do from there. Mid lane looks to be pretty even right now, not a whole lot going on. So not just equally mirrored strategies on both sides of the map, but LMQ does have a slight advantage because they could rotate over here and try to make a play on Dragon with them having so many people at the bottom side of the map. And it looks like Solo Mid wants to continue pushing in top lane. Over here, they did manage to catch an Annie stun onto Dyrus, but he appears to be okay. And Solo Mid's still pushing on this tower up here on top. Well, now let's see if they choose to try and dive this Shyvana. Ackerman's just hugging the safety of his tower. Going to get engaged on right there. Going to get ignited. Can they manage to finish him off? And is this going to be first blood? Yes, it is. Wild Turtle's taken a lot of damage, though. Has popped the barrier. Is going to flash away. X Special getting low as well. And I don't think Solo Mid's going to be able to make it out of here. Actually, they do pick up a second kill. And that is a 2-for-1. Turtle gets a reset on his rocket jump, able to go over the wall. And that was a very good sequence for Solo Mid. I honestly thought that was going to work a lot worse for them. And oh, if Wei Zhao had vision, could have gotten a kill on Tristana with a barrel over the wall. Didn't get it, though. So the net result, that is a 2-for-1 and first blood for Team Solo Mid. A very good outcome. They were in a very dangerous position, but managed to get one extra kill there at the end and managed to get out. And that's given them, what, about a 700 to 800 gold lead. A very nice early game lead. I thought that LMQ would just rotate over and take Dragon like they did. They actually did that in the first game, if you saw that one. But no, opted not to do so. They are pinging Dragon right now and getting some nice harass on X Special's Thresh here towards the bottom side of the map. So we'll see. They are indicating that they want to go for this, but they don't have their top laner. Ackerman is still up there on top, and it's going to be a tough call, going to be a tough pickup. So I don't think we're actually going to see anyone taking the Dragon here. Looks like Solo Mid, well, we'll see. Solo Mid has worded this as well. Now they're indicating that they want to do this. Now, LMQ does have vision on this. They're aware this is being started, but it's going to be hard for them to challenge this. We'll see if Lee Sin can jump in and get a steal, but the Dragon's actually been pulled far enough back that I don't think it's in range of his Q. And it looks like Solo Mid is going to get this one, and that's going to cement a larger lead for them. So they go up to a little over 1,000 gold lead, and a very nice pickup for them down there in the bottom lane. Now the trade-off is they've put their top laner, Dyrus's Rengar, is behind Ackerman's Shyvana because of the effort they put into getting that Dragon. But they would probably be happy to take that trade-off. All right, well, we didn't really get a chance to look at the duo lane setups. We have Wild Turtle on Tristana. He played Tristana in the first game as well, and X Special on Thresh for Team Solo Mid. They're up against Moore, the support Annie for LMQ, and Vasily, the AD player who is on Lucian for LMQ. And then in the mid, we've actually got a gank going on here. Oh, the dodging coming out from Bjergsen. Beautiful jukes, using his Zed Living Shadow to get out, used his ult as well, and did a really nice job of juking out of that gank. Didn't end up dying, did not have to use his flash either, just his ult. And of course his ult's on a much shorter cooldown. That was a 3-man gank from Lee Sin, Gragas, and Shyvana right there. Shyvana roaming down to mid because she had already shoved up the top lane. So very, very nicely played there. And then the two junglers are No Name here for LMQ playing as Lee Sin, and the odd one jungling as Elise for Team Solo Mid, and was very effective on Elise in the first game. We'll see if he can do as well in this one. Already has gotten a kill and an assist in the first 7 minutes, so that's some pretty good stuff right there. All right, in this top lane matchup, Ackerman does appear to be ahead, at least early on. Let's see, he is up, what is it, about 15 minion kills. And Shyvana will, of course, scale really well as the game goes on. Rengar also ends up being a really nice split pusher as the game goes on as well. So keep an eye on this top lane. Ackerman did, in fact, hit 6 first and has a pretty good advantage off of, as we said, some of the team play stuff that was going on earlier. In mid, Bjergsen and Wei Zhao are pretty even right now. Pretty much, even on the minion kills down there. Gragas did get the kill. Wei Zhao was able to get that kill earlier, so he has a slight advantage. Let's check the gold just real quickly there. Yeah, has a very slight advantage, about 200 gold. And actually, top lane's pretty even. Biggest advantage right now is down in the bottom lane, so let's take a quick peek in there. Wild Turtle has gotten an early BF sword. The Lucian player, Vasily, also does have an early BF sword as well, but that's it. Is down, is down Boots and a Vamp Scepter. We'll see if Turtle decides to go for a Bloodthirster Rush or an Infinity Edge Rush, the way he did in the last game. Both are viable options, and they both have trade-offs, strengths and weaknesses. Actually, we see an early Buster Shot coming out right there. Looks like Turtle was a little bit afraid that he's going to get jumped on. Anyway, in top lane, they're just continuing to do their sustained fight. Actually, we'll keep the focus on bottom lane for right now because that's where a kill is most likely. And the blue buff just gets traded over by Solo Mid right here. Yeah, indeed. Vasily getting very low, has been ignited. Is this Ignite going to get him? Yes, X Special picks it up with his Ignite. There, yeah, the thought that if a kill came out, it would come in the bottom lane. Went low and was picked up ultimately by the Ignite. Annie, of course, does not have any kind of a shielding or defensive ability to try and keep her AD alive. There's a Thresh hook coming in, and a nice flay as well. Here is the odd one, and that's going to be another kill as well. Beautiful Thresh play coming out from X Special again. The hook, the flay, and he earlier got the kill with the Ignite, that time sharing 2 assists. Meanwhile, in mid, Bjergsen getting quite low here, but I think he'll be okay. Let's see, is the Gragas ult? No, Gragas ult has already been popped. Meanwhile, the rest of Sullla mid continuing the 3-man push on this tower, and they have actually gotten out to a pretty solid early game lead here. 4-1 in kills, 2-1 in towers, took the first dragon. They're in a pretty comfortable position, and their late game scaling is probably a little bit better as well, just because they have that Triss. But Turtle, maybe overstaying his welcome here, does have rocket jump up. And, ooh, the resonating strike just missing from No Name. Anyway, meanwhile, there's a gank going on in mid. The flash cocoon does hit from Odd One, and now Gragas is going to get engaged on. Wei Xiao will fall. Beautiful flash cocoon. Odd One showing everybody how to play a jungle Elise right here. I mentioned in the last game that there were some jungle Elises who weren't very good in the promotional series. Anyway, now the cocoon landing on Ackerman. Oh, and the beautiful flay from X Special interrupting the Dragon's descent, knocking back Ackerman. Let's see, they are going to pick up that kill. No Name, the Lee Sin player, is going to pick up a retribution or revenge kill right there, but just gorgeous Thresh play right there. Using the flay on the Dragon's Descent, that is a skill that you get very, very little warning in order to use. It's not like one of those skills where there's a long wind-up. The Dragon's Descent comes out pretty much instantly, and X Special flayed backwards Ackerman Shyvana, immediately knocking Shyvana backwards and setting up another kill. Only 1 for 1, but that was a pretty slick play there. And of course, it was still a good trade for Sullla mid, because while that play was going on in mid, Dyrus was solo farming top lane, and Wild Turtle was solo farming bottom lane. So that sequence of plays was very good, even though they didn't get a tower and they only traded 1 for 1, because it was opening up time for solo farm and solo push in other lanes. And they're actually in pretty good shape. So as mentioned before, Turtle going with a different build actually has gone for the Bloodthirster this time, not the Infinity Edge. Basically what this does is it means his mid game is better, but his late game strength is delayed a little bit, because he won't have that Infinity Edge for just massive crit damage in the same way that he did in that first game. But he's going to be a lot stronger in like the 10 to 25 minute mark. Is just going to delay his 6-item God mode Tristana a little bit longer. Anyway, nice battle going on up here in top lane. Let's see, the items they've picked up. Ackerman's grabbed the Chain Vest, looks to be going for a Sunfire. Very standard. Dyrus has picked up the Spectre's Cowl, which makes sense because Shyvana's damage is mostly magic. Ackerman getting pretty aggressive here. Let's see if Dyrus is going to choose to turn on this, but no. Ends up backing off. And right now, because Sullla mid's gotten the outer towers in bottom and in top lane, most of their focus is in mid. Dyrus having to flash away up there in top lane is low. Is he going to be able to get out of this? Looks like he will. Don't think that Ackerman's going to be able to die this, but maybe, we'll see. There still could be some action here. Anyway, there's more action going on around the dragon. Dragon just about to respawn. No Name getting engaged upon, uses the Dragon's Rage, using the kick backwards on Odd One. That should secure this dragon for Team Sullla mid. Lee Sin very, very low, and not really in a position to fight for this. It is warded by TSM, have the pink ward down, and they're actually just managed to kill Tibbers there, so won't have that advantage. Gragas is right here as well, but Sullla mid does have vision on Wei Xiao's Gragas. It still looks like they're going to be able to pick this one up without too much trouble. Health bar going down. The new health bar makes it much easier to see how much damage is taken, and there it is. Very nicely played once again. Good team control over the dragon area. Lots of wards. 4 members of the team present, and the only one not there is Dyrus, who was holding his tower up in top lane, continuing to farm up. Ackerman taking this time to do a little bit of counter jungling, and I don't think Sullla mid knows that he's there. No, they have no idea that he's in their jungle stealing their camps. So a little bit of a lull in the action right there after that dragon fight. Sullla mid, a pretty comfortable lead, not enormous, but pretty solid at this stage of the game. 4,000 gold lead at the 13-minute mark. They got both of the first 2 dragons, and they're ahead 6-2 in kills. They're looking a little bit stronger in this game than in the first game, which was a lot closer than this one. Now, that's not to say that this game's over or anything. They absolutely have a long way to go, but are in good position right now. And if anyone's the MVP right now, it's Odd One's Elise. 302, has been involved in 5 of the 6 kills, and has secured both of the early game dragons for the team. Just outstanding jungling play. And he's actually just shy of Wild Turtle for highest gold in the game, which you don't see on a jungler all that often. Let's see, other stuff. Let's check out what the mid laners are up to. So, Wei Xiao looks like he's going for an Unholy Grail. Looks like he's heading towards that. It should be sitting on a fair amount of money. Yeah, just about 1,000 gold. Not as much as I thought. Meanwhile, his counterpart, Bjergsen Zed, let's see, what is he? Has gotten the Brutalizer, is going for Blade of the Ruined King, core items for Zed. We don't see Zed quite as much now Very, very popular throughout Season 3. Pretty much globally banned for months and months because of his strength. We mentioned that Turtle has gone for the Bloodthirster, is getting some tower push right here. And let's see, Dyrus has actually popped the Rengar ult, is running in stealth, but doesn't look like that's going to turn into anything. Yeah, so Sullla mid focusing on the mid tower. They've actually rotated their duo lane to mid and their mid lane down to bot. The reason why they do that is the duo lane is usually your strongest pushing lane because that's where the AD is. So they've done that rotation to try and get more damage on this mid tower. And LMQ has rotated their jungler in the area to help clear this. Now, the one thing that's bad for Sullla mid is Gragas has very good wave clear. It's going to be difficult to push that tower. And in top lane, the battle between these two continues. Sunfire Cape finished on Ackerman, Shyvana, and the Spirit Visage finished on Dyrus' Rengar. Neither one of them can really hurt the other one all that much. We got a little bit of a chase in bottom lane. Bjergsen going to go in on Moore's Annie. Out comes the Tibber stun. Is he going to be able to get this kill? I don't know if Moore's going to be able to get this. The culling coming. Actually, yes, he does get it. The Deathmark picks it up. That's a kill that's traded there. 3 assists coming out for LMQ. So in terms of the straight up kill, it's an advantage for LMQ because they get the 3 assists. But the pressure that Bjergsen created in bottom lane by drawing 4 people down the bot has allowed Sullla mid to get the tower. So that's a trade that is in favor of Team Sullla mid, since they were able to trade a kill for a tower and a kill. And oh, right there, Xpecial hitting another flight, uses the box, a Turtle jumping in very aggressively, maybe a little bit too aggressively there. Not sure you really want Triss going in like that. And is this going to turn into another play? Shyvana is coming down from the mid lane. Let's see, but I don't think Ackerman's going to get there in time. It looks like TSM is going to be able to escape from this one. So nothing ventured, nothing gained right there, nothing more. And that it was a pretty nice escape for No Name. He did not have his flash up, but he was still able to get out of that one. Lee Sin with the high mobility, and Dyrus is just doing what Rengar does. For those who haven't seen Rengar too much in the competitive scene, he pretty much just stays in the top lane and split pushes, and he will occasionally pop his ult, run in stealth, and try to assassinate someone. But it is mostly used as a split pusher, and that's pretty much what Dyrus is doing. Kind of similar to the way people tend to use Shyvana, although Rengar is not as good in team fights as Shyvana. He is more of an assassin than sort of a 5-on-5 team fighter. But that's pretty much what Dyrus is doing. He's just staying top lane, applying pressure, farming, stealing jungle camps, just took the white camp, etc., etc. So being used in that role. Anyway, Sullla mid has gotten all 3 of the outer towers now. It is 3-1 in towers as far as this game goes. Still had 7-3 in kills, and they took both of the first 2 dragons, and that's where they've gotten their 5.5k gold lead, which is pretty sizable. Now the question is, will they be able to continue pushing, start to get pressure on these inner towers? Maybe Baron will start to come into play. Baron has spawn. There it is. There's the big worm. Spawns at 15 minutes for those who don't know. But the focus is clearly going to be on this dragon next. And Sullla mid has gotten a lot of wards in the red side jungle. They want to have vision on people coming towards the dragon and be in position to fight for this one. It's still not going to be up for a little over a minute, but they've done a very nice job of prepping the area. There comes the sweeping lens, taking out a ward. Obviously saw that ward go down. And in mid, we actually see a little bit of battle coming out. Wild Turtle getting very, very low. Has to use the rocket. Has to use the Buster Shot in order to knock back Ackerman. Ackerman going to use... Oh, but the hook from Xpecial comes in again on Ackerman, taking more tower damage. And the anti-stun comes out. The repel from Odd One. He's still going to die to Ignite, though, even while he's up in the air. And this is turning into a good fight for LMQ. There's another fight going on in bottom lane as well. We got a duel between Bjergsen and No Name, but I don't think Bjergsen's going to win this because he's turned into a 1v2, now having to use his Living Shadow to escape. No, actually, where in the world did he go? Juked back towards No Name, but I don't think Bjergsen's going to be able to get out of this one. He's probably going to try to get the execute, and it's not going to work. No, so that was a very good sequence for LMQ. While it was going on, Dyrus did take a tower in top lane, but still feel like LMQ came out ahead overall right there. They picked up 2 kills in exchange for that inner tower in top lane, but they also gained some positioning in terms of I guess, well, Bjergsen probably will not be up in time for this dragon if there's going to be a fight for it. So we really do think that LMQ came out ahead in that trade, and they did get some shutdown gold on the Odd One. Not on Bjergsen, but they did get shutdown gold on the Odd One's Elise. Now Turtle going in, still in the race, but finding himself in a little bit of trouble right now. Wei Zhao dealing some good damage, has to use the Buster Shot again to knock back. There's the rocket jump away. Oh, just barely making it out, away from a whole bunch of skill shots coming out. Now Odd One chasing after Wei Zhao very aggressively, gets stunned by Annie, and now he's put himself in bad position. The Lantern save, though. Xpecial going to get in there, and there is an Ignite ticking. Is he going to be able to get out? Oh, another beautiful death sentence from Xpecial. His Thresh play has been so good in this match, and Odd One's still trying to run away. He is being cut off by No Name, so this could be a sticky Very sticky way to get out of this. And the Lantern's there again. Is he going to make it out? Doesn't even need the Lantern. Says, thanks, but no thanks. I'm okay. Meanwhile, in mid, Dyrus and Ackerman still fighting, still trading back and forth, but Shyvana's pretty tanky. Going to be okay. Still, the net result of all that is LMQ looks like they're going to be able to take this dragon, have position on it. We'll see. Dyrus actually running in with his ult. Now the flash death sentence onto Moors. Annie getting it grabbed right there. Throws down the box. He will fall, and just more beautiful Thresh play coming out. Yeah, don't give X Special Thresh. He is just basically showing how to play this champion here. Now X Special, though, running a little bit far forward, uses another death sentence. Shyvana ult coming out. Ackerman's trying to chase this down. That death sentence misses, but X Special still going to be okay. Manages to run out of this one. Was the dragon taken and all that? No, Dyrus going back in. I'm not sure he wants to continue this. He's going to have to back off. And the dragon's still not taken and all that. Turtle trying to steal the red buff away from LMQ. Looks like he's going to get this one. Life stealing as well in the process. Actually, there's a lot of life steal from that Bloodthirster. But yeah, the dragon's still there. Does still have vision from LMQ. So Sullla mid probably needs to pull this backwards or run the risk of a Lee Sin Q getting in and stealing it. Actually, where is no, never mind. No name, not going to take it. Vasily firing the culling, but it's not going to be enough. And so after all that fighting, Sullla mid does manage to secure the dragon and is sitting at a 7,000 gold lead. Very intense action right there, but wow, that Thresh play, so many good death sentences and flays, uses of the box. Really, really impressive stuff. I mean, you look at the scoreline, 115 might not look that impressive, but that's been some great Thresh play in this one. As a support player, I wish that I could play Thresh anywhere near this level of proficiency. Anyway, though, LMQ going to grab the mid tower. A nice pickup for them. Helping to open up the middle of the map, give them a little extra gold. Dyrus popping the Rengar ult, running in right now. He is tank Rengar, though. Oh, and another death sentence hitting onto Moors. Annie going to go down. Dyrus will pick up that kill, but credit to the assist is the real credit there. Another beautiful death sentence. Just pulling in Annie. And Moore, the support player for LMQ, not having a great game. 0-4-2, has not really managed to get a lot of good Tibber stuns in this one. Unfortunately, that is what happens sometimes with the real squishy supports, like on Annie. If your team starts to fall behind, and LMQ has been behind most of this game. Anyway, Bjergsen, we'll get back to the point. Bjergsen going in after Vasily diving under the tower. Deathmark comes out. It's not going to be enough. Does manage to escape back to the Living Star. Again, another flay coming out. X Special taking a lot of damage here, though. And most of that culling is going to miss. And once again, manages to get out. Yeah, used his flay on Lee Sin when he jumped in with his resonating strike. Once again, knocking him backwards. Again, the timing on this, the timing windows to use that flay are so small on a lot of these skill shots. But just continuing to land them over and over again. Very, very impressive. Well, anyway, we don't just want to focus on the supports. Let's look at some of the other lanes. Ackerman, let's see, what has he picked up? Does have his Sunfire Cape, has picked up Boots 2 with Home Guard. Too early to say what the next item is. Dyrus, Spirit Visage, has got a Giant's Belt. That could be a lot of other items too. It's probably a random one, but it's a little bit too early to say. Let's check out the junglers right now. No Name just has his Spirit of the Ancient Golem. On one, same item. Similar build to what we saw in the last game, Haunting Guys, but now going for the Spectre's Cowl. A little bit unusual. Could be a Banshee's Veil, could be a Spirit Visage. Probably more likely, might be, I don't know, we'll see. Not exactly sure where he's going with that one yet. How about the mid laners? Bjergsen has actually been spending a lot of time in bot lane. Maybe shouldn't even call him the mid laner. Sullla mid's kind of been doing the 1-3-1 push where they have Rengar in top and Zed in bottom lane as the solo split pushers, and then 3 in mid. But anyway, Bjergsen has finished his Blade of the Rune King. Also finished a Last Whisper, so that is a lot of armor pen on his build right there. 22 flat and 39%. So a lot of armor pen. Trying to prevent him from stacking armor. Wild Turtle going to get blown up right there. Moore setting up the play. Annie Tibber stun, followed up but with Vasily's Lucian damage. And then Wei Zhao with the Gragas ult. So that's a nice pickup right there. And Turtle getting caught goes down in a hurry right there. So let's see. Wei Zhao, what's he picked up? Has finished his Unholy Grail. Too early to say what his next item is. Either a Void Staff or a Death Cap. Seems likely right there. And now LMQ getting some good push. They've got 4 members of the team here pushing in mid. Everyone other than Shyvana who's back at base, but they've chosen to back off. A little bit worried probably about Rengar flanking them from the side on the north side of the map. Ended up choosing to back off, but still a nice play. Get the kill on to Wild Turtle's Tristana, and then get a little bit of damage on that mid tower, showing that they're not completely out of this, even though they are a fair way behind. About 7,000 gold behind still. Well, Turtle, we mentioned he went Bloodthirster first, Bloodthirster into Static Shiv, and now is going for the Infinity Edge. As we mentioned, this means his mid-game is stronger, but because he still doesn't have that Infinity Edge yet, it's going to take him a little bit longer to reach the, you know, I crit you and deal 800 damage, Tristana, and still only level 13. Now, Sullla mid, posturing around this Baron, but they are revealed right now, and I'm not sure they realize this. Need to use the Sweeping Lens. Especially use your Sweeping Lens here. So they're in full vision, and this could be a disaster for them if they aren't careful. They did pull off a cheeky Baron in the first game, but I'm not sure if they'll get that here. Anyway, Ackerman, though, going to get hooked. Another death sentence hitting. Dyrus' Rengar coming in. Ackerman going to have to use Dragon's Descent to safety. Bjergsen's here as well. Shyvana, very, very tanky, but I'm not sure she's that tanky. Yes, going to go down, and even though that looked bad initially, it ends up going pretty well for them. Weizhou got off a nice Gragas barrel in the middle, but it wasn't enough. And again, that might just reflect the fact that, well, their team's a long way behind. I'm still not sure that this is a good Baron to do for Sullla mid. Doesn't feel like the best decision, but they're still going for it. Oh, and Bjergsen picking up the kill on the support Annie. Looks like he popped the death mark right there. Anyway, this is a 5-on-3, but Sullla mid is still taking damage from the Baron right now. It's quite low, only at 3,000 health. Onwin going to hit the stun on Weizhou's Gragas. He will fall. Turtle picking up the kill. Now Vasily has no protection, going to have to flash over the wall. And Tristana going to go after him. Who is going to win this duel? Barrier coming out on Vasily. And, oh, the Buster Strike coming out. And Turtle is going to pick it up. Looked like he flashed at the last second there. So that is going to be a 4-for-0 in the extended fight. Baron not taken. Dyrus flashing over the wall. No Name needs to get out. Going to use a ward jump. And he will manage to escape this one. So, oh wow, and then ends up flashing out. I'm not sure that he actually had to do that, but I don't think he realized how close. I don't think he realized that Dyrus had already backed away and was doing double goms. But No Name gonna get out of there at the cost of his flash. So a lot of intense action right there. Again, I don't actually like that decision from Sullla mid. That had the potential to be a total disaster. With them being as far ahead as they are in this game, that was one way where they kind of could have thrown this match. I mean, we've seen teams like Vulcan, the new XDGG, do some incredible throws around Baron, and that had the potential to be a disastrous fight for them. But in any case, it worked out okay. They got 4 kills. They continued to feed their carries even more. Turtle is finished his Infinity Edge, 5-1-4 on the game. And some strong items coming out from the support too. X Special actually, not just the Talisman of Ascension, the Shirelius Reverie replacement, not just the Talisman of Ascension, but also the Aegis to go along with this Sightstone, and even a Giant's Belt as well. We'll see what that's for. I would guess Randuin's Omen, perhaps. We'll see. Did not feel the need to go for a Mikhail's Crucible. And, you know, that actually makes sense because there's not a lot of hard crowd control on the other team. The only thing you'd use Mikhail's on is the Anti-Stun, and it doesn't look like they're that scared at this point. Anyway, Sullla mid not going for the Baron here. Instead, they're turning and focusing on bottom lane. And there's not a lot that LMQ can do in terms of Baron pressure, because if they go for Baron right now, they're going to lose their bottom inhib. And that would be very bad for them, obviously. But yeah, just using Tristana's incredible sieging potential. Only level 14, so has not quite reached the 667 range. Has not quite reached the 700 range Tristana at level 18. But does have, remember, the Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, Static Shiv. And let's see, how many points does he have in Rapid Fire? Has 5 points in Rapid Fire. So yeah, can get that 90% attack speed buff for tower sieging as Turtle jumps over the wall. So that's a bottom tower down. That's now 5 towers down for Team Sullla mid. And again, looking to be in good shape. They've just hit the 10,000 gold mark advantage. When teams hit that 10k gold mark, that's often sort of a breaking point in the game where they'll go from being where the other team that's behind can go from being sort of in the fights to where they just sort of get cleaned up. That's often the case. Not always, obviously, but often that 10k gold mark is sort of where the game starts to break wide open. I've seen that in a lot of matches before. We'll see if that's the case in this one or not. We'll see. They may want to pressure around Baron. Really good ward coverage from both teams. Here's LMQ and here's Team Sullla mid. Lots of wards on the map for both teams. It looks like Sullla mid wants to bait around Baron again. We'll see. They probably need more pink wards. There's the sweeper coming out to remove that. X Special does have a pink. There it is. They've just now this time they've confirmed that there's no vision for LMQ. Got to be a little bit careful because Turtle's Tristana still on the way back. They don't want to get too aggressive. But that pink ward, you really don't want to do Baron unless you can get a pink down or sweep out the vision. Anyway, the Shirelius popped. Talisman of Ascension, I guess it's called. Looking for a catch on someone. Not able to get that. The defensive Talisman of Ascension also popped on the support Annie on Moore right there. The Sullla mid see this ward? Yeah, they see that ward. So Turtle's going to take that out. And yeah, this pink ward just kind of hanging out there, waiting for someone to clear it out. And it looks like Sullla mid waiting for that to happen. Dyer's going to land the bola, and No Name is in all kinds of trouble. He's going to try to ward jump away, but it's not going to be enough. I can't imagine he's going to manage to make it out of this. He is going to get pulled out. A flay at the end of that. We did see a flash coming out, a special flashing at the end of that. Not sure he needed to. But in any case, that's the jungler dead, and with no smite and still no vision. Oh, look at this. This ward is not spotted by that pink. Look at that. Cheeky ward placement right there, but Sullla mid still in very good shape to take this. That pull, the pull lands onto Vasily. Turtle, though, going to take a lot of damage. He is going to have to run for his life. He will fall, but the rest of Team Sullla mid is doing a good job in this fight. Still, it's a 1-for-1 trade right there. Lucian getting the kill onto Wild Turtle, and that might be enough to get Team Sullla mid to back out of this. We'll see. They did lose their AD. Now, they do have a 4-on-3 advantage, and remember, there's no jungler for the other team, but wow, I can't get over this ward not being spotted right there. That's pretty incredible. I'll have to remember that spot, because inside the Baron pit does not see that. So, Sullla mid probably wondering why they keep being seen here. Baron's getting lower and lower. Bjergsen going to go in. He has popped his ultimate, going after Vasily, does get the kill with the death mark. Now No Name is back in the fight, though, so we might have a smite war coming in here. Baron is still alive, and Team Sullla mid taking a lot of damage. Bjergsen going to get a double kill. Ackerman going to get engaged on. He is jumped on by 4 members of TSM. He's going to have to run out of there. Flashes over the wall. Over on the right side, No Name did pick up a kill, and that should be enough to get Sullla mid off the Baron. This fight that's just going on and on and on. Because with that jungler alive, it would be a 50-50 smite war, and I can't imagine they'd want to go for that. So it's actually a pretty good Baron defense by LMQ. I mean, they actually did fall further behind. They fell from 10k behind to 12k behind, but they kept Sullla mid off the Baron. Like I said, they did a pretty good job of defending that. And, you know, those fights are dangerous for Team Sullla mid because they're tanking the Baron that whole time. Well, we'll see. So this one still not decided yet. Sullla mid's in a very strong position, but hasn't managed to finish this one off quite yet. They did a great job of bursting down Wild Turtle's Tristana in that last fight. Very, very nicely done by their team. And now, finally, that last hit on the pink ward, which was sitting there on 1 hit for ages and ages and ages, now will finally go down. Well, it looks like Sullla mid wants to go back for this again. We see the sweeping lens coming out, not spotting anything right there. They actually do. Now they finally see that ward. So, are they going to take that? How do they actually see that? Oh, well, I guess that they still were able to see it with the vision from the sweeping lens. There's another pink ward dropped down by Expressio. He has actually gone, if you see this, what is it? Well, actually, he's got the Oracle's lens, has upgraded the sweeping trinket, and Odd One's done the same thing. Anyway, another death sentence landing on Ackerman. He is the tankiest member of the team, but he's taking a lot of damage, and another flay knocking him back, and the box slowing Ackerman. He's going to get chased. He will fall. Again, beautiful thresh play, the death sentence, the flay, the box. Just gorgeous stuff coming out. So it is now a 5-on-4 power play. The jungler is still alive for LMQ. No Name is still here, so he could win a 50-50 fight. But another death sentence goes in onto No Name. The box on a cooldown. More going to go down. He does get off an anti-timber stun, but it's not enough. No Name getting jumped on. He will fall. That's 3 for 0, 4 for 0 in the extended fight. And this finally now should be the Baron for Team Sullla mid. Don't see any way that LMQ can get this. Wei Zhao does not have his ultimate up. He flashes as Bjergsen still chasing this down. That's an ace, and that probably will be the beginning of the end for LMQ as the Baron falls as well. Really nicely played. Again, MVP of this game has to be Thresh, with just X Special setting up every fight with death sentences and flays, using the box so well. I mean, he just got them the kill on Ackerman at the start of that fight, and then another hook on No Name in the second part of that engagement. So 5 for 0 ace plus Baron. That gives Sullla mid, what, a 17,000 gold lead. I really can't see them losing from this point in time. It's just a matter of getting through the towers. Another death sentence hitting on Ackerman. He is going to get flayed into the team. It doesn't matter how tanky you are. When there's 4 people beating on you, you're going to fall pretty quickly. So that should be the middle inhib. Baron buff still on all 5 members of TSM. Now they're rotating to the top turtle. Top lane was shoved in by Bjergsen. The Lee Sin Q hits, but I can't imagine that No Name wants to dash in there. I mean, there's still various different poke coming out from LMQ, but it's just not enough right now. And there's a second inhib going down. And let's see, what's TSM going to do? They have a lot of gold. Yeah, look at how much gold they're all sitting on, at least 2,000 gold. Turtle is sitting on 3,500 gold. They'll probably just go back, buy, use this gold, and then look to finish off the game. We'll see. They're raiding the jungle right now, stealing the red buff. I'm assuming that someone's going to go and maybe look to steal this blue. We'll see. In any case, though, it really is their game to lose. And now, X-Special hooking the dragon over the wall, showing off the plays, using the lantern as well. Actually, they haven't really used the lantern that much in this game. It's been more about the flays and the death sentences than really the lanterns coming out. But did get a nice lantern save on Odd One earlier in this game. So anyway, yeah, Sullla mid going to go back, going to look to spend their gold. Bjergsen stealing away the blue buff from Weijal's Gragas. Gonna tail him. Yes, does get it. Looked like the culling might steal it away. Nice idea from Vasily. Doesn't quite get it, though. Very nice idea, even if he doesn't get it. So now all kinds of items coming out from the different members of TSM. They had a lot of gold to spend. So let's see. Dyrus, is he the only one who hasn't spent? Dyrus, the only one who hasn't spent yet. Let's see. Let's wait and see what he's going to pick up. Must be very close to something if he's just sitting around waiting on. Actually, he just picked up, what is that? He picked up a Giant's Belt, sold the Giant's Belt, picked up a Doran Shield, sold the Doran Shield, and ended up going for a Warmogs. Okay, so it's picked up the Warmogs. Other items, let's see. Odd One has finished a Banshee's Veil. Yeah, did think that his Spectre's Cow would be for a Banshee's Veil. Picked up the Banshee's Veil, and also has a Randuin's now. Bjergsen, let's see, what does he manage to get? Has the Guardian Angel and turned his Brutalizer into a Black Cleaver. Got a pickaxe for something. Let's see. X-Special, this is not your Season 3 support. Randuin's, Locket of the Iron Solari, and the Talisman of Ascension to go with his Sightstone. So he actually has, what, 5 items right now. And who's the last member of the team? Turtle. Turtle got a Guardian Angel as well. He is now on a 6-item Tristana build. Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, Static Shiv, Bloodthirster, and the Guardian Angel to go along with his boots too. Okay, so he is 6-item Trist, and he's level 17, so he has that outstanding range, 700 range right now, or 694, almost 700 range. So this is going to be, and remember, there's two inhibs down in the top 2 parts of the lane too. So this is going to be, this is basically an impossible defense. It's a really nice initiation though from LMQ. Wild Turtle actually has his Guardian Angel pop, but Bjergsen's in the back line killing people. He's gotten 1 kill, going for the 2nd kill, gets that 2nd kill. Tower falling. LMQ falling, everybody on the team going down, another final death sentence hits. That's a 4 for 0, but it actually was a beautiful initiation by LMQ. If they hadn't been 20,000 gold behind, they actually would have won that. And Turtle dancing around in the fountain. Well, I don't think they're going to get no name. He's too far back, too deep in the fountain. So looks like Team Sullla Mid is going to finish this one off. A convincing victory in this one. They got ahead early, didn't make any mistakes whatsoever. Well, I mean, a little risky around the Baron Pit, but outside of that, a very clean victory. They got, got about 1,500 gold ahead earlier, and then they just took a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and just slowly snowballed the game. So this was not one of those games where you see back and forth and teams throwing. This was the opposite. This was a team getting a small advantage, and then building that lead, not making mistakes, keeping the door shut, not letting the other team come back and have a window for an opportunity to get back in. It never really allowed that outside of maybe a little risky business around Baron. But overall, a very nice game. So that's 2 games in favor of Team Sullla Mid. They did play a 3rd game, as I mentioned. This is not a true series, just games that were played in the Ranked 5s queue, but they did play a 3rd game. So tune back in tomorrow when we'll see game number 3. Can Sullla Mid make it a clean 3-0 sweep, or will LMQ be able to get 1 game back and turn it into a 2-for-1 game? Until next time, see you guys later. Have a great day. See you again soon.